I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's talk about that. Cue the music. Hello there, Radiant here. Welcome back, or welcome. Recently in my life, I've been going through a weird transitional phase. A sort of limbo phase, if you will. I'm going to spare you the details, but long story short, a handful of elements have been sort of shifting in my life as of late. And I really didn't know how to make sense of it all. And it was weighing on my mind so much that I realized it was basically the only thing I could think about, or one of the only things. And it had gotten to the point where I couldn't even think of new video ideas to do because that was like the only thing on my mind. So I figured, if that really was weighing on my mind so heavily, why not make that the topic of a video? So that's what this is. Here we are. This video is basically for anyone who has ever felt the same way, or more specifically, for anyone who currently does feel this way. If you feel that you're in that same position and you could use a little nudge, I guess, I have fortunately just emerged from that sort of weird phase, and here's what I learned. Okay, so first things first, accept it and appreciate that that's where you are. I know that sounds kind of ironic and even counterintuitive, but I think the first step to getting out of the I have no idea phase is to accept the fact that you're there and appreciate it, because we can't be wandering aimlessly for our entire lives. And if you're in a space where you can afford to just question what you're doing, I think that's a genuinely powerful place to be, because in a place where there's so much uncertainty, there tends to also be so much potential. And when you realize that, it's kind of encouraging. I also found that rest was a surprisingly effective strategy. I know, again, more counterintuitive sounding information, but I think it goes along pretty closely with my first piece of advice, is that once you've accepted that you're there and appreciated what you do have, I think the best would be to just rest, because you don't want to rush to try and, rectify things and fix things, get back onto a specific path, if you will. Instead, I think the best solution is just to chill, not take it too seriously and sort of reset and reflect before you do anything. Again, I know that it sounds almost counterproductive, but in the middle of a storm at sea, even Jesus just slept. And I think that's the kind of approach that more of us need to take, instead of rushing to try to fix things and to reach conclusions. In fact, right in the middle of my limbo phase, my family and I went on a brief camping trip, and I went along. As a matter of fact, that's the B-roll that you're watching right now. Looking back, I never actually felt any sort of real pressure throughout that whole trip, because I was too busy just enjoying the moment and taking in each day for what it was. So, yeah, if you're stuck in a similar boat, rest is not a terrible idea. Lastly, I think one of the most important things that I realized is to set goals, but set broader ones, and don't be afraid to broaden a specific target if necessary. One of the biggest mistakes that I think I've made in my life was getting so tunnel visioned on a particular prospect that I didn't even realize the other sorts of opportunities that were right in front of me, because I was so hell-bent on getting this specific target, this specific focus for so long. And as soon as the probability of achieving that goal was starting to fall apart, that's what triggered my whole identity crisis in the first place. So basically, reset and set a new goal. Don't make it too specific, but instead just aim to be out of there. Aim at a goal where enough of your life will make sense and it'll be more or less on track towards some sort of target. Basically, in summary, I guess what I wanted to say with this video is, if you're in that kind of phase where I just was, it's okay. It's okay to be there. I'm still trying to piece together the pieces that are still loose and don't seem like they fit in any particular spot, but I feel like I'm on a trajectory that, at the very least, helps me become better. I still have no idea what I'm doing, but I think that's okay. I'm going to close with a quote from one of my favorite artists ever, Jon Bellion. In his song, Maybe, I Don't Know, he says, "I guess if I knew the future, then I wouldn't need faith." That is basically what I've been slowly learning over the past couple months. It's that I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know the future. And that shouldn't be something that gets me to panic. Okay, that video was sort of all over the place. Thank you very much for watching. If you sat through all of that and you actually watched the end, sincerely appreciate it. Yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Peace.